Good day everyone, my name is Macy Periol. In this video, I'm going to discuss about operating and maintenance budget. Let me read first the lesson objectives. At the end of the lesson, you are expected to define the types of budget used in operation, explain the components of the operating and maintenance budgets, and understand the importance of operation and maintenance budget. So let me start it with a question. What comes to your mind when you hear the word budgeting, or what is your idea about it? So let's make it simple. Budgeting is crucial in any business. It is the key tool that controls the financial resources necessary to effectively plan and manage the costing of activities within the department. And also, the budget administration or management uses various software to manage, control, and measure the department's effectiveness. So there are two types of budget often used in operating a business. So the operating budget and the maintenance budget. So what is operating budget? So this kind of budget is concerned with the evaluation of each category of operating expense projected. So it simply means that the operating budget is a detailed statement showing all the operational expenses to be incurred and incomes to be generated during a particular period of time. So operating budget usually consists of at least 4 headings: cost of labor, cost of required materials, cost of contracted services, and cost of tools and technical resources. Allow me to explain it one by one. So first, the cost of labor. It consists of these 4 concepts. The first concept is the annual fixed amount received by department workers. So this is what we call salary and benefits, or the wages. Next is the staff cost, such as staff transport to the plant. So it is only applicable in some countries which the employer takes care of the cost. Third is the organizations with excellent management promote training among workers by subsidizing the cost of training. So the employers here paid for the training costs in order to produce excellent performance of their employees. And lastly is the obligatory social cost for the organization. So next is the cost of required materials, is the sum of all the parts and supplies required during the time frame the budget is set to cover. So common examples include oils and lubricants, security elements, miscellaneous and electrical equipment, and etc. Okay, next is the cost of tools and technical resources. So this includes the sum of money that is expected to use the reset tool and means missing or damage, or the acquisition of new media. So keep in mind that this media can be purchased or rented. Okay, and lastly, the cost of contracted services. So it involves jobs that usually hire outside companies, such as skilled labor. So including the travel expenses of the laborers. This is only for corrective maintenance. Now let's discuss why is it important to have an operating budget of an organization. So there are broadly 2 important reasons. So the first one is tracks incomes and expenses. So the operating budget helps in keeping a track of the income and expenses. It controls the expenses while it also encourages workers to work hard and achieving the ambitious target of sales. So this is the best way to track if the business or the company is earning or losing. Okay, the second one is improves the efficiency. So operating budget improves the overall efficiency of the organization. It helps in operating the plant at its optimal or full capacity. It also guides the staff to have better and efficient planning in performing the business functions. So let me show you an example of operating budget. So in this example of budget, we do have here the code, the description, the total expenses or the operating budget in the year 2016, 2017, and 2018. We also do have here the operational income, the revenue from operations or the total sales, the cost of goods sold, which is included in operational expenses or operational budget, the employee benefit expenses, the salaries or wages, the staff welfare costs, rent buildings, professional fees and services, rent machine and others, travel, and also the marketing expenses. And at the bottom part is the profit before tax, A&B. Of course, in any form of business, we do have tax. Okay, next is the maintenance budget. So what is maintenance budget? So it is the portion of an operating budget that is set aside in a single fiscal year for maintenance activities on the organization's assets. So when we say fiscal year, this is a 12-month period, not necessarily from January to December, but an actual 12-month period. So, organization uses to report its finances. The budget is typically fall into the following categories. First is the routine maintenance and second is a time-based maintenance. So, what is routine maintenance? When we say routine maintenance, it is a type of maintenance to an asset that is planned and performed on a regular and consistent basis. So, examples of routine maintenance activities typically include some of the following, like steam cleaning of the carpets, which is once a year, washing of the windows, which is in every 6 months, lubricating of the pumps yearly, mopping of the floors daily, and mowing of the lawns weekly during the growing season. So next is the time-based maintenance. It is also called the clock-based maintenance or condition-independent maintenance or calendar-based maintenance. A form of maintenance of an asset according to a strict timetable. So in maintenance, we do have various parts. So let's talk about first the scope of the budget. So depending on the type of building or the type of the establishment, the maintenance budget will typically include the following categories. So the HVAC, the heating, ventilation, and etc. Fire protection, janitorial, elevators, and landscaping. So next is the impact. So an inadequate maintenance budget may potentially result in the following concerns. So first is the lean maintenance and second is the under maintenance. So what is lean maintenance? When we say lean maintenance, it seeks a program of qualitative maintenance over quantitative maintenance. So we're up to the quality of the maintenance rather than the quantity of the maintenance. So let's define it as simple as sweat the asset. Okay, next is under maintenance. So it is an insufficient maintenance of an asset or system. Okay, next one is analysis. So the maintenance budget will generally range from 20 to 50% of the annual operating budget. So, ganun siya kalaki. So, I do have here some pictures. This one is sample or routine maintenance activities that are funded through the maintenance budget. So, we do have here the floor polishing and the servicing of rooftop HVAC unit. Okay, next is some examples of maintenance materials. So as you can see, we do have here some parts for the exhaust, some cables, tiles, some papers, and at the other side, we do have here sets of bulbs and also some paints. Okay, next one is a graph. This one is maintenance schedules represented as a financial bar chart. So it is included here by year. What are the certain amounts for the maintenance budget of the establishment? Okay, next one is comparison of budget line items in operating budgets for maintenance. So this one is extracted from an operating budget, but they focus more on the maintenance budget which they projected here. So from building A, as you can notice, mas madami yung included sa budget niya or sa expenses niya compared to building B, which is tatlo lang. But the total amount of the expenses or the budget is same amount. Nakita niyo yung difference? Mas madami si building A kaysa kay building B, pero pareho sila ng amount. Okay? Next topic is the budget preparation approach. Paano ba sila nag-come up sa ganitong certain amount of budget para sa ganito, para sa ganyan? So we do have two effective approaches that can be used when preparing a budget. Includes the historical approach and the zero-based approach. So let's start with the historical approach. So the historical approach. Here in historical approach, it is easier to prepare and requires relatively little amount of paperwork. So here, the professionals involved with this budget preparation approach relies on the experience of previous years to determine cost estimates for the coming year. However, the downside to this approach is that oftentimes past errors tend to repeat itself. Kung ano yung pagkakamali dun sa isa, possible na ma-apply din yung pagkakamali yun sa next na budget or approach na gagawin. So, inefficient operations are funded proportionately to efficient ones. So, next one is what we call zero-based approach. Kay zero-based approach naman, it is harder to prepare and it consumes more time and paperwork. Kagaya nga ng explanation kanina, si historical approach, little time siya, at mas kokonti yung paperwork. While dito kay zero-based approach, mas madaming time yung kailangan as mas madaming paperwork yung gagawin. So, this is because professionals are expected to develop the budget from scratch without reference to past budgets, unlike sa historical approach. So, this is more efficient as current requirements or priority are given justified funds. So, also items are grouped by priority into work packages. So, some of the advantages naman of zero-based approach are funds are proportioned correctly or accurately. So, next is there is a clear understanding of organizational objectives. However, it has its drawbacks in that it consumes lots of time because it is more detailed process and also takes more documentation when compared to the historical approach. But at least, zero-based approach is more reliable and more accurate than the historical approach. Madali nga, mabilis, madali, kokonti yung gagawin, pero hindi sigurado. Pwede pa rin magkamali. At possible na kapag ginamit ulit si historical approach, magkakamali ulit sa sunod. Unlike kay zero-based approach na matagal maproseso, pero accurate at sure ka dun sa kakalabasan ng budget na yan. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned from this video. If you do have questions and clarification, you can directly message me in my Facebook account. Have a safe and COVID-free day. God bless.